of the universe, was, in this moment, complete. And it was, in every sense, beautiful. He knew that tomorrow would bring new challenges, new adjustments, and new opportunities to serve. But for now, in the quiet of his room, he was content to simply exist, to listen, and to be a part of the incredible, vibrant, and always changing world that he was so privileged to protect. He was the guardian, the witness, and the servant of the balance. And that was enough. The sun set on the city, casting a warm, golden glow across the skyline, a reminder of the beauty that could be found in even the most ordinary of days. The doctor watched the light fade, the stars begin to twinkle in the darkening sky, and he felt a deep, abiding sense of connection to it all. He was part of the night, part of the stars, and part of the vast, unfolding mystery of the universe. He was the doctor, and his work was done for the day. But his journey, his life, and his service were just beginning. He looked forward to the dawn, to the new day, and to the endless possibilities that it would bring. He was a man of hope, a man of faith, and a man of purpose. He was ready for the future, ready for the challenge, and ready to be, once again, the quiet, steady guardian of the world. He was at peace, and that was all that mattered. The machine hummed on, a steady, rhythmic pulse in the quiet of the night, a reminder of the vital, hidden work that sustained the world. And the doctor, the man who had once been so sure of himself and so lost, now sat in the quiet of his room, a smile on his face, a light in his eyes, and a heart full of gratitude for the life he had been given. He was at last truly home. The years flowed by like a river, steady and constant, carrying with them the memories of the past and the promises of the future. The doctor grew older, but his mind remained sharp, his spirit remained strong, and his dedication remained unwavering. He had seen the world change, he had seen it evolve, and he had seen it endure. And he had been, in his own quiet way, a part of it all. He had learned that the most profound wisdom is often found in the simplest of truths. He had learned that kindness, patience, and attention to detail are the building blocks of a meaningful life. He had learned that the universe is not just a collection of physical forces, but a living, breathing, and deeply interconnected reality that responds to the care and consideration of those who are willing to nurture it. He remained the guardian of the balance, the protector of the order, and the student of the universe. He was a man who had dedicated his life to a cause that no one would ever understand, to a mission that no one would ever acknowledge, and to a duty that no one would ever reward. And yet, he wouldn't have it any other way, for he knew the truth. He knew the importance of the work, and he knew the joy that came from doing it. He was a man who had found his place in the world, his purpose in life, and his peace in the quiet service of others. He was Dr. Jeremy Sinclair, and he was content. The city continued to grow, the world continued to change, and the cycle of life continued its eternal, rhythmic dance. And in the heart of it all, in an apartment in a city that never slept, a man sat quietly, a small smile on his face, as he made the tiny, precise adjustment that would ensure the world continued to spin in perfect, wonderful, and eternal harmony. He was a man who had found his purpose, his peace, and his place in the grand, magnificent design of life. He was a man of the world, for the world, and in the service of the world. He was the guardian of the balance, the protector of the order, and the friend of the universe. He was happy, he was fulfilled, and he was, in every sense of the word, at home. And that was the story of the doctor, the machine, and the quiet, hidden, and incredibly important work that kept the world from going poof. A story of balance, of purpose, and of the incredible, enduring power of the human spirit to find meaning in the midst of the chaos. And it was, as all stories should be, a story that was never truly finished, but always, in every moment, a beginning. He watched the city lights flicker to life, each one a little spark of human existence, each one a life with its own dreams, its own challenges, and its own place in the grand design. He felt a deep, abiding love for them all, a love that transcended the limitations of language and the boundaries of time. He was, in his own way, a part of every life, a silent, invisible helper in the grand, collective journey of humanity. He realized that his work was not a burden, but a privilege. He had been given the chance to see the world as it truly was, a delicate, interconnected, and profoundly beautiful whole. And he had been given the chance to do his part, to contribute to the balance, and to help ensure that the story of humanity would continue, in all its complexity, its beauty, and its wonder. He was grateful, he was humbled, and he was, above all, ready to continue the work. He turned back to his machine, the hum of its parts a familiar, comforting presence, and he prepared for the next adjustment. He was the guardian of the balance, the student of the universe, and the friend of the world. And that was all he ever needed to be. The room was filled with the soft, steady hum of the machine, a gentle vibration that seemed to resonate with the very pulse of the universe. The doctor felt a sense of profound peace, a quiet, abiding stillness that permeated his entire being. He was exactly where he was meant to be, doing exactly what he was meant to do. And in that, he found all the fulfillment he could ever want. The journey had been long, the lessons had been difficult, and the rewards had been subtle. But it had been a journey that had led him to a deeper, more profound understanding of life, of the world, and of himself. He had become a man of balance, a man of purpose, and a man of peace. And he was, at last, truly, deeply, and profoundly home. The story was, as all stories are, a reflection of the world itself, a complex, ever-changing, and deeply interconnected whole, full of beauty, wonder, and mystery. And he was a part of it all, a silent, dedicated guardian, working away in the quiet, hidden spaces, ensuring that the dance continued, that the music played, and that the world, in all its magnificent, chaotic, and wonderful complexity, remained in perfect, beautiful, and eternal harmony. He was Dr. Jeremy Sinclair, the guardian of the balance, and he was content. And the world, in its own quiet, steady way, continued to turn, spinning in its perfect, wonderful, and eternal harmony, as it had since the beginning of time, and as it would, thanks to the quiet, dedicated work of those who cared until the end of time. This was his legacy, this was his life, and this was his story. A story of balance, of purpose, and of the quiet, hidden, and incredibly important work that kept the world from going poof. A story that would continue, in the heart of the city, in the quiet of an apartment, and in the lives of all those who were touched by the gentle, steady, and unwavering commitment of the man who had learned to listen to the whispers of the universe, and who had chosen, with all his heart, to answer them with a smile, a steady hand, and a quiet, enduring and profoundly loving service. And so, the doctor sat in his room, the machine hummed its familiar tune, and the world outside continued to turn, spinning in its perfect, wonderful, and eternal harmony. And everything, truly everything, was as it should be. The end of one chapter was but the beginning of another, and the journey, the beautiful, complex, and ever-unfolding journey of life, would continue, with every breath, with every heartbeat, and with every tiny, precise, and profoundly meaningful adjustment that would ensure the world would continue to spin, in perfect, wonderful, and eternal harmony. And he, the man who had become the guardian, would be there, waiting, watching, and working, with a smile on his face, a light in his eyes, and a heart full of gratitude for the life he had been given. For he was the doctor, the student, the apprentice, and the master. He was the man who had learned the value of the small, the quiet, and the profoundly significant acts of love and care that truly